You sign up for a trip overseas, safety is probably top of mind.
That's even more of a priority for the elderly or maybe a person with a disability who still wants to see the world but might need some accommodations to do so. In tonight's Call for Action, Leah Linscheid shares one woman's warning for your parents, your grandparents, and anyone else on an adventure out of the country.
Dorothy Dean.
I like talking with different people from different places.
Loves to meet new people.
I've been to Europe.
It's why she's so well traveled.
Peru was the first time I traveled South America.
That's not why she agreed to meet with us, though. A little closer to home, at a diner in Johnson Creek.
I was scared.
Dorothy uses a walker to get around these days. It's a result of a decades-old soccer injury. It's never stopped her, though, from finding adventure and new friends. But she didn't expect to find fear, too, on that trip to Peru.
That they advertised that it was a safe, comfortable trip, and it wasn't. It was dangerous.
It was put on by an agency out of Minnesota, specializing in disability and elderly travel. Dorothy did her due diligence, researched the company online, and spoke with employees over the phone. She paid $10 grand for that trip, but she says 2 excursions left her feeling unsafe and unsupported. The first, a trip to Machu Picchu that was put on pause for a local parade, leaving her group stuck in a van for 4 hours.
For one thing, it's just not safe to put people in a van where there's no way out. There was no lift, there was no ramp, and even if there were, we all needed help. We all needed assistance getting out.
The second, a trip to the coast.
We were taken to what they called a mall. We were never prepared for what the weather was or what the mall was actually like. And it was actually an open-air shopping area right on the Pacific Ocean. And we were there from noon until 9 p.m. And we had one meal. And as it got darker and darker and colder, the wind blowing off the Pacific, plus the rain, we had no cover. We were stuck. And that was dangerous, too.
It's taken a while for Dorothy to come forward about her experience. Since then, she's been filing complaints with every agency she could find.
I had to come to terms with the fact that this was not a normal trip, even for people that are in their 20s with total good health.
We asked AARP, DATCAP, Disability Rights Wisconsin, and Employment Rights Incorporated whether Dorothy would be protected by the Americans with Disabilities Act, and there was no clear yes or no answer. The ADA does specify that transportation services have to support equal service for people with disabilities by operating accessible vehicles, among other things. So, where can you turn to then if your parents or grandparents want to take a trip like this?
Unfortunately, even though we're not able to do much, I try to get her story out there to other people.
The best AARP can suggest is do your research and make sure you're comfortable with a company before booking with them. Should you have a bad experience, you can call their helpline.
Those volunteers will help connect you with resources or help you figure out what the next step is in the process.
Dorothy suggests preparing for the worst with emergency contact information on hand during your trip. For a woman who lives for new friends, caution will now come first for her next adventure. With this News 3 Now Call for Action, I'm Leah Linscheid.
Since Dorothy's trip, the company in question has closed down after the owner passed away. We did reach out to the travel agent who ran the Peru visit, and his lawyer declined to comment on the situation.